You go, bro? I bet. It seems like every month a new beloved YouTuber is outed as a predator, and it's gotten to the point where you can't trust anyone. There is nothing more disappointing than finding out someone who you support is a pedo. You spend all that time watching their videos, interacting in their comment section, and then boom, some random 13-year-old posts a 20-page Twitter thread and it's over. It really makes you stop and think that if this beacon of sunshine who brought happiness into your life could do this, then who else can you put your faith in? Nobody, because you don't fucking know these people. You can trust me though. Anyways, pedophiles. Let's rank them. First up is the OG, Mr. Cupcake himself, EDP445.
Big bag, big bag.
Okay.
Big bag.
Well, fist bump?
He's probably the first YouTube predator to be caught who I can remember. I'm sure there were others before him, but he's really the pioneer of this trend. You could say he's the grandfather of YouTube pedos. The term EDP is now used synonymously with the word pedophile. If some people don't want to get demonetized, they'll just say blank is an EDP and people will understand. The whole experience of him getting caught was crazy because it just came out of nowhere. He basically had the best life that any fat, ugly person could dream of. He built a massive multi-million subscriber audience just by being an outgoing guy with no filter. He was able to just be himself on camera and it worked. For the love of God, his name on YouTube was Eat That Pussy 445 and he was still famous. So when the news came out that he was hit with a sting operation to meet up with a 13-year-old, I was like, damn, that's not that surprising. Look at him. But if we really take a moment and step
back and pay attention, the signs were always there.
His name is EDP445. 4 plus 4 plus 5 equals 13. The girl was 13 years old. What does all that mean, you may ask? I don't know, but the numbers add up. When the Instagram DMs got leaked, it got so much more disgusting. Aside from the usual cock and ball wombo combo that these sickos be sending anyone under the age of 15, he also sent videos of him nutting and a picture of his shit. This sick bastard tried to pretend like he felt guilty about talking to a minor. But in the very next breath, the instant that post-nut clarity wore off, he went back to saying some of the most vile shit imaginable. As if texting these future things to a child wasn't enough, he tripled down on it and decided to go meet up with her. But when he arrived at his destination, he quickly realized that there was no 13-year-old girl, just a couple of 30-year-old men. Now, one of them may have been a raging racist with a sweaty back, but he was the lesser of two evils in this story, so I'll let that slide for now. When asked about what he was doing at this very peculiar location, he was kind enough to clear the air on this misunderstanding and let us know that he was simply there to pick up a pastry.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
He's a man with a firm appreciation for delicacy. That's completely understandable if you ask me. I also drive several hours to pick up a singular cupcake every so often. Don't we all? God forbid a man has a hobby. And when the burning question of the day was posed, is EDP445 a pedophile? He gave us an answer that rocked nations.
Let this be known, I am not a
Well, that's that, I guess. And here I was thinking he was there to meet up with a 13-year-old girl. Silly me. So for that reason, he's going into A tier. You heard it straight from the camel's mouth. He's innocent. But looking back at those DMs, we'll put him in F tier just to be safe. And that handsome fella from earlier made an astounding point. He threw away his life in luxury for a piece of some underdeveloped cake. If that isn't worthy of an F tier, then I don't know what is. The most surprising predator revealed to me, though, was Cody Ko. This one genuinely had me in shambles when I found out. He was one of my favorite YouTubers at the time. I would watch all of his videos, especially for Sultry Saturdays, where he would post hour-long videos and I would sit there and watch every second of it. Why? Bro had it all. The easiest life of all time. But he just had the fucking 16-year-old, didn't he? The evidence was so substantial that he didn't even get to put up a fight. It was over the moment it began. The way it came out was god-awful too. It was at a show where no cameras was supposed to be allowed. And the question that triggered it is, who has the smallest dick that you've ever seen?
Who's the smallest dick you've ever had sex with? Oh my God, do no one look at me, Cody Ko.
Bro caught the rudest stray of all time. And then it was revealed that he's a pedo.
I can say that. I was literally 17, I can say that.
Damn. Double homicide. Just kicking someone when they're down, but instead of kicking him, she put a grenade in his mouth. You speak, you're done. You don't speak, you're done. There's no way out of this one. It's over. You're cooked. The worst part is, when Tana revealed this damning info, she didn't say it to ruin Cody. She was just having fun at her show. But when his fans started attacking her with unreasonable amounts of hate, she got mad, and rightfully so. So now it's fuck you and fuck your homie too. Cody got fucked by the hand that feeds him. His own fans accidentally started his downfall. I know he was pissed when he found out that his own supporters are the ones who condemned him. The evidence piled against him was so overwhelming that he only had 3 feasible options on how to respond. Spoiler alert, he was fucked either way. Option 1, apologize and admit to committing a heinous crime. The statute of limitations exists, which means the crime he committed won't get him arrested, but the entire internet will see his admission of guilt, which will ruin his career forever. Option 2, keep posting and act like nothing happened, which is feasible, but he'd have to hire half a dozen employees to continuously filter through his comments so that the people who don't know never find out. And he's already doing that, but his wife isn't. Option 3, disappear off the face of the internet and live his life with the ridiculous amount of money he's made throughout his career. And big shocker, that's the one he chose. But then a couple months later, he made an appearance as a DJ to some event, letting us know that he don't give a fuck. And do you know what letter the word fuck starts with? F, so F tier. Speaking on guys who have a wife and children, we have Dr. Disrespect. The man mountain, the myth, the legend, whose sudden permaban on Twitch left the whole world wondering. Okay, maybe not the whole world. And to be honest, I can't think of a single person who cared, but it's on the cool self. The man mountain, the myth, the legend, whose sudden permaban on Twitch left the whole world wondering what happened. For years, we sat at home distraught with one question in mind: will he return? Then we found out what actually happened. This sicko was inappropriately messaging a minor on the Twitch Whispers app. Who the fuck uses Twitch Whispers? He was going around acting like he was the victim of some greater conspiracy, but in reality, he's the hunter, and he likes his prey young. For a man who has an underage daughter, I doubt he'd be very happy if he found out that his daughter was talking to a 42-year-old fossil. And the discourse around this topic on Twitter was unlike anything I've ever seen before. But my first mistake was opening Twitter. I've never seen so many people openly defending pedophilia like this before. It's as if they were trying to tell us something. That may be, possibly, honestly, more likely, that this is something that they dabble in. But hey, who am I to say? I'm just some dumbass who can barely hold a handstand. 3, 4. Let me reiterate this. 42 years of age. Bro is pushing 50. He's damn near 100. He was born when the world was in black and white. I didn't have rights yet. And he wants to talk to kids who grew up watching Skibbity Toilet. As a wife, how do you look at your husband knowing that he fantasizes about kids who could be your daughter's classmates? But who knows? Maybe she loves him through thick and thin, through mental sickness and health. F does stand for family, but in this case, it stands for F tier. Let's go through a couple quick fireworks. First up, we have Aubrey Graham, otherwise known as BBL. I know y'all probably thinking, bro, are you fucking stupid? Drake's a musician, not a YouTuber. And that's where you're wrong. If he wasn't a YouTuber, then why does he have a YouTube channel? You can't argue with the fact. And you also can't argue with the fact that he kissed a 17-year-old girl, because there's proof. You are Drake, one of the most famous people to ever exist. You can get any woman on this planet. You may not be able to keep them, but you can get them. So why would you pick a teenager? Wait, I know why.
Certified lover boys, certified pedophiles.
What? F tier. I wanted to put Diddy on this list too, but I think the crimes he's committed should be reviewed by the US Justice Department. I don't think I'm qualified enough for this. When your name gets turned into a verb, the things you've done have cemented their place in history. We have no Diddy, did he do it, and the diddler. Enough said. Whatever people say he did that shit. I'm also putting every single kick streamer on this list. Without doubt, they will do some pedophilic shit. Either it's that Mike guy trying to fuck a 16-year-old, she has fucking algebra in the morning.
Have fucking geography class.
Don't say that on stream.
And he's trying to fuck her that night. Or it's the other guys who are just Omegle, getting these girls to expose themselves just so they can take the video and post it on Discord. The entire kick platform goes to F tier, no question about it. Sneeko will also be making this list because he doesn't believe in the age of consent. I don't know what more needs to be said about that. If anyone is opposing a law like that, I know where you belong. F tier, and then prison. I'm not gonna lie, this list is starting to look like a sausage fest. What a hoes at? Well, I got a curvy one for you right here. Ava Tyson. We're entering generational bag fumbler territory. If I had to pick one person who had the most to lose from this, It's her. Not only does she have a wife and kid, I'm starting to notice a pattern here. She also works for Mr. Beast, quite literally living life on easy mode. All she had to do was not like literal children and she would have been set for life. Not to mention the fact that she set the LGBTQ community back 1,000 years. Do you know how many stereotypes there are of trans people liking kids? They were not beating those unjust allegations. So when Ava came out as trans, they saw that as a ray of hope. An extremely public figure who works for one of the most wholesome and generous people to ever exist. This is exactly what they've been waiting for. All she had to do was go out there and be fucking normal. But no! She wanted to go out there and talk to elementary school kids. I know them niggas were pissed. She just fucked up their PR. All those years of hard work, gone. It's like when King Batch got famous on Vine. All of his videos were the most degenerate black stereotypes you could imagine. It was like, bro, why are you doing this? Now they're gonna think I do this. I'm not like you. Straight to F tier, because I completely understand what they're going through. And some way, somehow, she got the kid that she was grooming to defend her. Like, bro, you're a victim. Where are your parents? We're keeping this train going though. We got one more female groomer, Colleen Ballinger. She was caught and outed for grooming little boys and girls. We got our first bisexual predator.
Yeah.
Immediately, I'm putting her in F tier. I know that might be a little bit controversial, but hear me out. We already know that some men are sickos. They're so grotesque and repulsive that they have to stoop to preying on kids because women their age have brains developed enough to know to not touch them with a 20,000-foot pole. But when it comes to women, even though they have their fair share of miscreants and deviants, they won't ever have to worry about finding a mate because niggas will fuck anything. You can think of the ugliest, fattest, most abhorrent creature of the XX chromosome, and I guarantee you that she can have sex whenever she wants. And whoever is fucking her, they're denying absolutely all allegations of it. They're taking that shit to the grave. But the point still stands. They're getting dick. Have you ever seen a woman in a non-self-imposed dick drought? Think about it. So the fact that Colleen had to resort to grooming little kids lets you know just how twisted and demented her mind truly is. She was in a group chat with 14-year-olds and was asking them if they're virgins, what their favorite positions are, was sending them porn, and asked for booty pics. Not to mention the fact that she let a child stick his hands down her pants. And how did she combat these allegations? She pulled out all reliable in this 10-minute masterpiece. She does not try to disprove any of the claims made against her, just calling it all gossip and saying that people are trying to spread misinformation about her even though there is literal proof. But hey, the sound is pretty darn good. My only gripe with the video is that it's not longer. I need a 10-hour loopable version immediately. But since it's only 10 minutes, I'm gonna give it an F. And she also has a kid. So I'm really starting to notice a pattern here. I'm noticing. You thought the baddie hype chain was over? Hell no, we still going. James Charles. Yeah! Aside from the fact that he's a literal predator who forces straight men to sleep with him,
I want a boy who is straight.
He's also a certified lover boy.
Certified pedophile.
This sociopath couldn't just settle with converting straight men. That got too easy for him. So he wanted something more taboo. And by taboo, I mean illegal. There is countless evidence of him talking inappropriately and sending and requesting nudes from minors. He's one of the worst kind of sickos because he will defend himself like his life depends on it every time. But once things blow over, he'll go back to doing the exact same thing. He's going to F tier, and it's F for you know what. Fatherless. But his career is still somehow completely intact. Sometimes life just isn't fair. But I will continue to viciously prey on his downfall. If James Charles has 1 million haters, I am one of them. And if he has none, it's because I'm dead. Before we get to the last one, I want to give a shout out to every single Minecraft YouTuber over the age of 30. You all make this list. I would list you all by name, but YouTube videos can only be so long. But without fail, if you leave your child unsupervised in a server with them, you were quite literally feeding them to the wolves. A genuine coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb situation. Your kid doesn't stand a chance because that is their bread and butter. And last but certainly not least, we have the literal personification of the word. Predator. A man who's been arrested multiple times and is probably in the middle of an investigation right now, Andrew Tate. This top G has been preying on women longer than some of us have been alive. From human trafficking to money laundering, he's done it all. A jack of all trades, some would say. It was bad enough that he was doing this to grown-ass women, but he was also preying on underage girls. He's actually a Hall of Fame self-snitcher. Almost any allegation you've heard about him, I can guarantee you that you can find a video that he's made and published himself confirming said allegations. The police don't have to do anything to catch this guy. They just gotta sit back and let him continue to incriminate himself. He accidentally admitted to fucking a 14-year-old girl. And listen to how him and his brother talk about taking women's virginities.
It's like taking the virginity of a really beautiful woman. I get to have this experience and no one else gets to have it again. But the real pleasure is in the fact that somebody else would love to have this and I get it.
That makes sense. I'll give you that.
Man, it hurt her at every moment that I was doing it, but it felt good for me, so who gives a shit?
This man is a glorified Jeffrey Epstein, but because he's fit and says the occasional words of motivation that's been rinsed and spit out 1,000 times, these fatherless men will get on their knees and gargle his balls. He is funny on occasion though, so I'll give him that. But it's not enough to move him from F tier, so down he goes. Now that we're done, let's do a quick recap. Pedophiles, bad. F tier.